Alright, so here we go. We're going to do a casual run of Spyro the Dragon. Let's see if there's any save data or junk. Just go ahead and start a new game. So hopefully this is going to record and work better than it did last time. So let's skip past all the cutscenes here. So this is the first Spyro the Dragon game. So it's one of my first games that I actually got for the PS1. So it's always been a favorite of mine. And so we're gonna do a casual run of the first world, see how long this goes, but we'll kind of take it a little bit of time here and see where we end up.
I'm going after him.
Find dragons first. That's all I can tell you.
Hopefully there's not random echoing because of that. So I've got my setup over here with my computer and junk. So having multiple devices on the same network trying to run everything seems to cause a little bit of trouble, especially now that I'm trying to stream it in HD, so we'll see what happens there, if anything.
Where's Nasty Nork? I'll torch him.
Keep your horns on, Spyro! You have much to learn first. Do you know what the dragonfly following you is doing? His name is Sparks, and he's helping and protecting you. Keep an eye on him and see what I mean.
So depending on how well this works out too, I may need to stop mid-stream to adjust the stream quality, so I guess we'll see how that goes. So when I first started playing this game, doing a lot of the glides and everything else would always give me some trouble, and I've already forgotten the controls for this game. Shows how long it's been since I've actually played it. Using the analog to rotate the camera, and that doesn't quite work. So basically the goal of this game, Spyro, the main dragon, is out to rescue a lot of the other older dragons that were cast into stone by the main antagonist of this game, Ganasty Gnorc, which for whatever reason Spyro still pronounces Nasty Nork. He pronounces it correctly rather than emphasizing the G's everywhere. So, I'm not really sure what all to talk about this game. A lot of the big premise of this game is you go around freeing dragons, collecting treasure, going to a lot of the other kind of sub-worlds. Right now we're in the home world, in the Artisans home world. And so, there's five worlds here. And so, you can choose to kind of go to any one of them at any point. There's certain achievements that you have to do for each world in order to pass on to the next one. So talking to a balloonist to give you some hints about what you need to do. All these dragons can be skipped just by mashing X. Skip over a lot of the talking. If you've already played the game before and you know what the dragons say, you can just skip over them by playing X. Playing X? No, this is not Mega Man. By pressing X, you're able to skip over a lot of that stuff. So, Spyro the Dragon's got some great music to it. The music was actually recorded and created by
Spyro.
Stuart Copeland, who I believe was part of the Police before he wrote the music to this game randomly, so it was kind of interesting to see that. So it's got some great music. The series only seemed to get better as time went along. There's a lot of glitches in the later games that you can do to exploit some things, like you can do the swim in air glitch. Not really sure what glitches this game has. I haven't really seen any speed runs of the game or anything, so I'm not really sure what all what all can be broken in this game. So. Well, it's like pixel off. I don't know. That's probably putting it too close. It's probably like bad playing, skipping a couple of pixels. So let's try that again. And this time we'll do it more correctly. Much more better. Still trying to use the analog. Still used to new games. And also the L2 and R2 buttons are backwards on here, so it's throwing me off a little bit too. I don't like the inverted, I like left to be left and right to be right. And we're still missing 4 treasure. Probably being a derp. I probably don't know exactly where this is. Oh yeah, looks like it's just down here. Yep, there we go. I've got 100. So each world, go over to the inventory. Shows you how many dragons you have to free, also how many treasure you have in each world. So, little crystal platforms on the ground. Those are used to save the game, and also you can reload the dragons if you forget what hint they gave you, or advice they gave you regarding different things about the world around you. So you can go back and check that if you need to. So, an interesting mechanic about this game too is some of the enemies have fireproof armor, and so Spyro's got 2 attacks. He's got the flame and he's got the charge. So to get around the shields, we can either charge the enemies when their shield's up, or we can just simply flame them if they put their shield away. So it's a lot more consistent just to charge them. It's a lot easier to do it that way. So we've got one of these treasure chests which you can't flame, you can't charge. It's got a lock on it, so we need a key for that, which I think happens to be over here. So I played Spyro the Dragon quite a few times, but it's been a while since I've recently played it, so it's good to kind of go back and use this for another stream. I'm still demoing and testing a lot of things on Twitch to see what all functionality it has. I think I finally figured out where the save previous broadcast option was. Just having some trouble finding that. So my first stream wasn't recorded on my capture card, and also my second stream was recorded on my capture card, but it was not recorded on Twitch. So this is my 3rd Twitch stream. So I'm hoping to kind of learn a little bit more about Twitch so that that stuff doesn't happen. I may go back and kind of just try and rehash the first 2 Twitch streams to a degree, just so that I can have those archived for anyone else who's interested in watching them. So I updated my bio this time, so now I've got casual gamer, learning how to be a speedrunner. So trying to learn more techniques to go fast, but sometimes I just like to just goof off and play a game without having to worry about going fast and having correct tech, and having to, pretty much in this game, if you want to go fast, you just have to hold the charge the entire time, try not to run into walls, and so speedrunning this game is a lot of knowing when to dash, when to stop dashing, when to flame, when to stall with the glide, which I don't think I've explained that yet. So when you're gliding, you press X to jump, you press X again to glide, and then you hit triangle to free fall. I like too in this game, you can interact with a lot of the objects around you. It's pretty innovative for the time. And also for this game being just a regular PS1 game, a lot of the landscape looks really polygonal, but the character models are pretty well done. So, and also too, just the overall style of the game is very nice. They put a lot of work into this game. The second and third games are even better. The second game, they added a lot more achievements, so the game doubled in length, having to do a lot of those achievements. And then also the third game, they added some additional characters that you have to play for completion. It's kind of a your team helps you out. You build up your team just by seeing, just by meeting different characters along the way. You can kind of build up just a group of characters you can switch between. So there's the kangaroo, there's a bird, there's also a monkey, and a Yeti as well. So also just a random shout out to the Yeti t-shirts, who's doing, every time there's an HDQ or an SGDQ, they always have rockin' t-shirts and other gear that you can pick up. It's mainly just t-shirts, but they have some hoodies as well. So you can pick up some of that stuff, and they're all based around different marathon themes. A lot of them have either inside jokes or inside references, like Wonder Shot! So that's up there. They also have a new Save the Animals shirt this time, which is pretty nice. So picked up a few shirts from them. They always have some pretty legit gear. So now that we have the key, we can open up the chest, and you can skip the animation by hitting X too if you want to. So. And that was a bad glide. If you do gliding out of dash jumping, it's sometimes inconsistent where you'll end up, so you have to hit the buttons in a certain order in order to get things to work out right. And treasure chests can sometimes do random things like that.
Oh, it's you! I wasn't sure if you'd escape those annoying little creatures. Of course, they wouldn't bother me, but here's a hint. Metal armor is fireproof, but a charge attack will take care of them.
Refreshing the Twitch stream over here, checking to see what all's going on over there, so I've got that running at the same time. So if I randomly don't skip a dragon, that's why. Or just randomly fly away or something. So now we've got all the gems, and we've saved all the dragons for this stage. So we're good to move on to the next stage. We can actually just exit the level at any point we want to if we think that's more advantageous. We can just skip out of that. Okay, so let's move on to the next level. That level was Sleepy Hollow, I believe is what it was called. Dark Hollow, yeah, because we can't be jacking names from other places, so we've got Dark Hollow. There's a lot of just random inside references. We've got Stone Hill now. It's the next stage we'll go to. That could have been worse. Get yak attacked. So you can probably hear that over the audio there. There's a thief that's stolen a dragon egg. I think there's a dragon that actually explains the dragon eggs being stolen at some point. I think it's in this stage, and it should be here soon.
Watch the dragonfly, Spyro.
Remember, watch the dragonfly, Spyro. But don't watch it so much that you lose focus on the game. Alright. So it's kind of nice, the open world concept in this game. I don't know that I really like this game if it was a random side scroller. So it's much better being in an open world. Nice flaming. Real accurate with those things tonight. So each dragon has their own personality. They all sound different. So Whirlwind, those will pick you up and move you around. If you're ready to return home, you can always jump in these portals and they'll take you back. But since we're not quite finished with the stage, we don't need to do that yet. So there's random treasure. Looking for whirlwinds will lead you to new areas where you can pick up all the treasure. you're speedrunning the game, a lot of times what you'll want to do is just simply pick up enough treasure and complete enough of the achievements for the balloonist just to get to the end. Won't need to do doing kind of an any percent route. But if you're doing a 100% route, then obviously you'll want to try and figure out what's the best way to get all of the treasure as quickly as possible. I may do that at some point, but like I said, right now I'm still just kind of playing around with Twitch, trying to understand how everything works. So just picking up various games in my library and playing them again, just kind of as a refresher, and also just to test some stuff on Twitch.
When
Just remember, don't fall into trouble, Spyro. It's one of the things that Dragon warns you about. Alright, so this should complete the first area, so move through this passageway to the second area. Also, one of the things I'm learning about Twitch streaming is trying to figure out what kind of commentary to say in these runs. Not really sure if I've got the most interesting information regarding the game. Just try and reiterate some of my own personal experience with the game. So I've gone through this game so many times I can't remember how many I've gone through it, just because I like the game so much. So I remember first time I was introduced to this game when my aunt's had a PlayStation at her house. And so I remember going over there and playing a lot of different games. She also had a Sega at one point, so I remember playing a lot of Sonic the Hedgehog, and then also when she got the PS1, I remember playing SPYRO the Dragon, liking it so much that I ended up getting a copy for it when I finally got my first PS1 a lot of years ago. And the PS1 actually still works, amazingly enough. It actually kept working even past my first PS2 Slim. For whatever reason, that one kind of died pretty early. The laser stopped working, and first indication it wasn't working anymore was Final Fantasy VII. When I was playing through that, I went to go use Cloud's Omni Slash, and the camera rotated and made some weird noises, and then basically soft locked the game. I couldn't figure out how to deal with the data on the disc anymore, so I had to pull out my old PS1 to finish that up. So that was somewhat disappointing. So I had to go out and get another one. Kind of concerned about the reliability of these slim PS2s. Actually, I see people that have the original PS2s and they last quite a bit longer. So it always seems the original models of the PlayStations always seem to last longer than the newer slim versions. So a lot more robust, although they do take some work, like in the case of the PS3. The big PS3 has a lot of design problems, and it also has a lot of trouble with cooling. So here's the first thief, so we have to chase after the thief. We can kind of trick the game by doing a flame and then immediately charging afterward. We can keep our flame while charging. So it just kind of extends the distance of the fire breathing. So you can do things you wouldn't normally be able to. So I think we're getting close to having all the treasure here. Just making one last loop around because I always miss some of these treasures in the tree. Probably some more up here somewhere. Sure, at some point there'll be somebody watching the stream and going, "No, you goof, it's over there. What are you doing running around looking for stuff?" And I think I know exactly where it is because it's down in this treasure chest over here. Because I now have the key for it. I completely forgot about it. So we'll go over here. So it should be the last bit of the treasure for this stage. No! Okay, I'm too short. Too short. Alright, so let's see where I missed it. So let's go tooling around a little bit and see what we get here. Because it's down here, so it's probably up in that field up there. Probably just passed by it. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's fly over here, and we'll look around. I think there's some that are close to this electric fence. Yep, there it is. Alright, so to save a little bit of time that we lost, we'll just go ahead and exit the level. So now after you defeat enemies and get their treasure, get these little discs, and once you have enough of the discs, they kind of circle around Spyro's life gauge. Once you get enough of those discs, it will give you an extra life, and so, of course, these guys are some of the best to farm from, if I could actually hit it. So, lives aren't too big of an issue in this game. They're pretty generous with the number of lives they give you, especially in this first game, so you don't have to worry about that too much. This secret is told to you by a dragon a little bit later in World 3, but there's nothing from stopping you from doing it at any point. So if you know it's there, you can go ahead and hit the trigger and you can go into the level. So this is one of the flying stages. In the normal stages you can just glide, but in these other ones you can actually have free flight and control over Spyro in the air. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can't get a pretty good time destroying all these. Wow, out of control. Shoutouts to Capital Lights, I think I'm out of control. So there's 4 achievements you need to do. You need to destroy all of the train cars, and then there's planes, trains, and automobiles. Oh my. So and it doesn't matter what order you complete these in, you're just supposed to complete them before all the time runs out. Defeating each enemy gives you a little bit of extra time. So you can see the 26-second timer up there. And I guess I missed one. Alright, so now we can go shoot all the arches. So in this stage there's barrels, planes, arches, and then these treasure chests over here. So we'll go ahead and complete some of these so we're not losing too much time. I know I'm not doing this very optimally, but that's alright. Casual run of the game and all. Alright, we should have enough time to complete the arches section. It's right here. Free to go. You get down to 10 seconds, there's an alarm that starts going off. So you'll hear this ding, 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 ding. So, what does the dragon say? Alright, so that completes 4 of the levels, so we've got 2 more to go. So, move on to the next one. Just randomly get rid of that enemy, get one of these discs, try not to run into walls. Alright, now time for Town Square. One of the stages that has a lot of random chickens. But Spyro ain't no chicken, he's not going to chicken out. He's got a quest to complete. For whatever reason, the AI of those chickens they just don't seem to get hit very often, which is kind of interesting. They'll jump right in your path and then jump right out if you keep going at them. So if you charge the boars, they just kind of sit there. You can just leave them there, or you can flame them, and that just gets rid of them outright. So there's a lot of really interesting gimmicks, especially like this one here. You got these slot machine type blocks where you have to flame it and then jump into it. So it makes also a slot machine sound, similar to the one actually in the swing noise you hear in Tetris when you pre-rotate a piece. Shout out to all the TGM runners who were at AGDQ and SGDQ. They're really amazing to watch how fast they can play the game. And so also shout outs to the Japanese players that appeared at this year's SGDQ. That was really cool. I was glad that they came over and played the game. Played the game super fast, so that was absolutely crazy to see. But yeah, the Tetris Grandmaster runners are really crazy on how fast they can do stuff, and also how innovative they can play the game too. They really got that game down to almost to a science, it seems like, on what they can do. That was terrible. That guy wasn't bored of hitting me. I'm not really sure that's a boar. I don't know what that is. Some horns, something or other. If someone knows who they are, they can just say it right now. Laugh at me for my lack of knowing things. Alright, so we fly over here. Try not to fall off the edge. We've got another thief who's apparently running away faster than I anticipated. Come back! Come back, come back, come back, come back. There we go. I'm always kind of afraid of those, that metal chest right over there. Sometimes think I'm going to just charge right off the edge trying to get that. Same with that, trying to grab it and not fall off the side. Alright, so getting closer to the end of this stage. As you go along through the game, there's more and more treasure you have to pick up in each stage. They also get a lot more innovative with how you have to pick up the treasure, more gimmicks. There's one of the gimmicks coming up right here. It's random pinwheel. So it's metal, but if you flame it, you see the thing spinning around, so you have to flame it a bunch of times to make the pinwheel fly out. And you can destroy crates like that one. You can also defeat enemies with it as well. So it's kind of interesting, the object interaction in this game. So we've got all the dragons, or we've got all the treasure, and now we've rescued the last dragon, Thor. It's not the Thor we're all thinking of. He's not the god of thunder. Return home now. So the last thing for this area is we've got the boss of this homeworld. So we've got Toasty. I don't know where they come up with these names, but they're interesting nonetheless. And I've never really gone down that way, but that's all right. Maybe that saves time. I don't know. New route as we're playing the game. Not really sure what to think about that. So after you defeat complete one other world, you can go into the boss levels. The conditions are a little bit different, I believe, in each stage or each world. But right now we've got Toasty, so we're gonna go through that. And for whatever reason, there was a subpixel hanging me up there. So in each boss, always says confronting rather than entering. So that's how you know you're in a boss stage. We're confronting the stage. So in this stage, we've got these dogs that try and randomly jump on you, but if you attack quick enough with the flame, you can get them twice and defeat them before they have a chance to land on you. So definitely don't want to get landed on by the dog. Pretty brutal. Definitely don't want to get hit by those guys. The shepherds, I don't know what those guys are, but they can knock you off into pits randomly, and then they'll just laugh at you. So we don't want that to happen. They'll just pole vault you off the side. So the overall pace of this game is, it's pretty good for just doing a casual run of the game. It's not really high-paced. A lot of the high-paced stages are actually a lot later, and they add a lot of complexity. I always like to turn around corners because that dog tends to troll me. Tends to just jump out of nowhere when I'm not expecting it to, so take random damage, waste a little bit of time. Also, dashing off into hits randomly would be a bad idea. So, now we get to meet our first boss. The dragon right before each boss kind of gives you an explanation as to what you want to do to defeat the boss. They'll sometimes give you these hints, and then sometimes they'll give you something really cryptic. Especially one later on in the game, maybe when I do an actual full run of this game, you get to see that. But the response from that, the thing the dragon says, and the response from Spyro is pretty apropos. It's pretty funny. And apparently we're battling a sheep in a jack-o'-lantern outfit. Not really sure what to call that thing. So this boss is kind of sheepish, but he's still not afraid to come and attack you if you get near him. What we want to do is just make sure we flame him from a distance so he can't kick us with his poles. Alright, so we've got 100, and there's obviously no dragons to free in the flight stages because there's no place to land or anything, so... And then usually the boss stages only have a couple of dragons, one maybe two, sometimes three. So, fairly few. So, that does it for the Artisan homeworld. So, we're about at 32 minutes, so what we'll do is we'll go see the balloonist, go land in the next area, and we'll call it for this stream, I think. So, the balloonist is over this way. Alright. Well done, Spyro. I didn't think you could do it. I didn't think I could do it either. You may travel to the Peacekeeper's world if you like. So we can either stay here or we can go there, and keeping up with the comical theme of this game, you just jump right on top of the balloonist. That's okay, I guess. You can just do that. Any kids watching at home, don't jump off your friends, especially if they're named Cliff. Like the militaristic theme they've got going on in this stage. So, and I think for this stream we'll go ahead and call it here. So, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll catch you on the next stream.